Hi there, my name's Kronenberg. This is a film review of Dark Tide. It's an adventure, came out in 2012. It's a 15, it's an hour and 34 minutes. Amazon is 3.7 out of 5, IMDb is 4.3 out of 10. I'll read both synopses. So Amazon is high-octane thriller testing the courage of award-winning Halle Berry when faced with nature's, obviously the word one is missing there, of nature's ultimate terror, the great white shark. Whereas IMDb is a professional diver tutor returns to deep waters after a year, following an almost fatal encounter with the great white shark. The nightmare from the deep is still lurking, more carnivorous and hungry than ever. Well, yeah, almost fatal. I think it was somebody else. So the director was John Stockwell, who directed Into the Blue. Producers, well, there's 28 of them. So I picked the ones with the word producer on. So we have Matthew E. Chause, Chausse, who produced Beyond Skylines, and Jeanette B. Milio, Milio, who did 13. And music was by Mark Sayfritz, Sayfritz, who did Death of Me. Cast we have Halle Berry, who was Kate, who was in Gothica. Olivier Martinez, who was Jeff, who was in The Unfaithful. Mark Elderkin, who was Tommy, who was in The Dark Tower. Luke Tyler, who was Luke, who was in Dredd, Dredd. And Ralph Brown, who was Brady, who was in Alien 3. It was filmed in Cape Town in Western Cape and Seal Island in False Bay in South Africa. So it starts like all shark films, the shark in the water, but this has got Halle sort of talking in the background about something. Then we see some ducks in the water, relaxing music. Then she's there with her friends on the boat, which turned out to be Jeff, who's Olivia Martinez, and Mark Elderkin, who's Tommy, and somebody else. Oh, I can't remember who his name was. Themba, I think. I don't know who it was. And then Al's talking to a camera for something, so it looks like she's doing a documentary. And the sharks are beautiful. I love sharks. So I was like, yeah, I like a shark film. I like it when it's a shark film, it's real sharks. And apparently it turns out that the female sharks are more docile than the males. Not sure if that's true or not, but it seemed to be the case. They were like, oh, this is a bit bad. It's like, yeah, that's okay. This one's the female. Now I saw a shark attack in the waters. This is the fatal encounter thing. Near fatal, depends on who it was. It was interesting though because she tapped its nose. Now I've just literally reviewed a film called Deep Fear, which was the same sort of thing. They tap the nose or push the nose away. Now I don't know if you could do that. Great white. If a great white come towards you and you sort of pushed it away with its nose, I think you might find you've got half an arm left. But apparently, maybe it's true. I don't know. But then I think the hubby wasn't happy with him tapping his beloved wife, if you know what I mean. The male shark was not very happy about that. Took his revenge. It actually stated it was near Cape Town, Africa, a year later. I was curious if it was, and it turns out obviously it was, because obviously I don't read the synopsis and things like that when I watch these films. So I was like, oh, I wonder if this is actually Cape Town in South Africa. And yeah, it was. So it's very nice, very nice. I haven't seen the waters in Africa, so it's quite nice to see. It said Simon's Bay on the titles. On the thing, but I don't think it was in Simon's Bay, was it? No, it was Cape Town and Seal Island. But that was one of the places was called Simon's Bay. I don't know if Simon's Bay even exists. So she's taken this family on a boat trip. This is the year later. Right, we're near some penguins. They're making penguin noises. And Hal says, listen. You hear that? What does that sound like? So the wife says, oh, they don't sound like penguins. And the husband says to the kid, it sounds like your sweet mother on the loo. And the wife says, what did you say? And he says, I said I can hear them, can you? I thought it's that's very good. So a bit later on, she meets the uh, Ralph Brown, who was Brady, and Luke Tyler, who was Luke. His son and father. The father just wants to swim with great white sharks, and it's like, I want to swim with them. I've got the money. I'm rich. I'm a thrill seeker. I'm used to getting away. Here's 100,000 or whatever it was. Train me in a few days to swim with sharks. Even though she says it's taken me 10 years to jump into the water and swim with them. And he's like, no, 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 no. I'm used to it. Give me it. Also, I think, I don't know if he is French, but obviously she's American. They're in South Africa. They do tend to speak. This, I don't know if this is, again, I've seen some films that are South African films, like Blood Diamond, I think it was. I can't remember off the top of my head. But in this one, she tends to speak English, then Afrikaner, then English, and then Afrikaan, and then back to English. And then sometimes it's when she's talking to somebody who else is pure African, and they do the same thing. Back and forth, even within the same sentence. Like, will you go Africano, something, something, something? Yes, I will. It's like, what? I don't know if this is how they do it. I don't know. It's a bit confusing for anybody who's watching the film, because subtitles came on, disappeared, back off, back off, back off, back off, back off. It's like, what the hell? And he's English, is Ralph, as well. So how can you tell a film isn't filmed on the same day? You know, a specific part. You're watching a film and they're like, in this case, they're having their lunch outside, and then she's literally walking to her car after the lunch. How can you tell it's not filmed the same day? Well, when she's having the lunch, she's talking normal. And literally when she's back up to her car, she's talking a bit like that. So she's got a bit of a cold going on. But I'm pretty sure you haven't got a cold from when you were just eating your lobster, or whatever it was, to walk into your car, which from what I gather is literally about like 5 minutes away. So, with any films, there are a few things I hate. And here's one. So, we have some poachers swimming at Seal Island. Middle of the night, because they're poachers. They don't want to sort of bring attention to themselves, even though a copper finds their car. Of course, it's pitch black, so you can't see a damn thing. No one's got any lights. It's pitch black. Then one's attacked, but I don't know if he was intact, because I couldn't see a bloody thing. It was all dark, just splashing, screaming, then nothing. I mean, for all I know, he wasn't attacked by a shark. He might have been attacked by a seal or a penguin, or maybe he's got his feet tangled in the seaweed. I don't know. I couldn't see a damn thing. Anyway, it was nice to see the sharks up close at the surface of the water, because, like I say, I love them. And also, it was great watching, I don't know if it was Alberry, it might have been somebody else swimming. Swimming with seals, because they were swimming all around her and everything else. It was quite nice to see, to be honest. And then they went to Shark Alley. I don't know if Shark Alley even exists. Shark Alley. Well, apparently it does. Shark Alley, South Africa. It's the strip of sea between Dyer Island and Gazer Rock, as the seals who feed here are a constant food source to the sharks. There you go. So I was curious if it actually existed. So she's under the water with no air tanks, because she free dives. She's got the snorkel and that's it, and off she goes down to the water. Something's happened, and she's kind of holding her breath for ages, well over 5 minutes. I can't bear last a few minutes or so, and that's without action or some sort of stress, but she's just completely fine down there for 5 minutes. And then, of course, another thing happens, another bad thing happens. Of course, it happens to be a bloody night time again, and we don't have a bloody torch or any floodlights, so nobody can see sod all for 15 bloody minutes. But don't worry, Hal's underwater for about, like I say, it was about 4 or 15 minutes, I think. So she managed to hold her breath for 15 minutes. That's pretty impressive. I think that's a world record, if I'm not mistaken. You know, she was under there, all hell was breaking loose up above. I don't know, because I couldn't see it. She was swimming around quite merrily at the bottom. Then she held her breath and went, well, she didn't obviously stop holding her breath because she was underwater, and she went swimming over to some rocks and all this business. Did whatever else she was doing. It's quite enjoyable. Music's pretty repetitive. There was a song that kept saying, hey, hey, I don't know what it was. Is it part of the soundtracks or something? It might have been this traditional African song called Shosholoza. It tells you in the soundtrack list. But I don't know what it was, but it just kept saying, hey, hey, and then something else. But it was all the way through the film. Like I say, it was about 90% of it through the film. There was some other music as well, but majority was that. Now it was okay. The main action was near the end, I would say. So if you want a film that just starts straight at the beginning, yeah, something does, but after that it doesn't really. For me, who was the main star? The shark. The shark was the star. I'm sorry, the shark. So it's a 5 for me. I love sharks, and for once they didn't use a paper mache one, a plastic one, a CGI one. They used a real shark, so it was quite nice to see. There's some real good shots of it actually eating and stuff like that. Humans as well as seals and things. It was very good to watch. Very enjoyable. And then there's some whales. At one point, even dolphins were there. Like watching a nature show. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed watching this film review of Dark Tide. Please subscribe to my channel. Got plenty of other film reviews. Like I said, some shark films. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. Have you seen this film? Did you enjoy it? I don't know. Okay, well, thank you and goodbye.